It's been about 2 years since I started using Powur as the install company for my clients, and I really have never explained outside of a 30-second video on Instagram why I made that transition, what it's been like, what I'm experiencing, how it's evolved for me, and the kind of conversations I'm having with other people in the industry. So the first thing, the starting point is when someone comes to me and I'm talking to people from mostly they're already in sales, right? So they're at Legacy or Sunrun or Titan or Freedom Forever or anywhere, any of these. There's a lot of companies, and the first question is typically commission. So the starting point to understand Powur, I always start at the same point, which is I think we have the highest commission. So that's how the conversation starts, and every solar company tells their team we make the highest commission, but it's really easy to find that out, right? So we take two proposals, we'll stack them up, same system, cash price, what price comes out for the homeowner if we match the commissions. So commissions is really the wrong question. And I didn't realize that until I started doing this with people and started selling through Powur, because I could see that I was now able to make the same amount and offer my system at a lower cost. So instead of commission, I would use the term competitive advantage. So as we're looking to see where we should, what company we should use to install solar, what gives us the most competitive advantage in a particular deal, and how we see that influencing our growth moving forward. So Powur, in my opinion, has the highest competitive advantage, only because I've met with all these reps of these other companies and I haven't had an experience where we do a matched proposal, we match the commission, we match the cost, we match the system, and their price comes out lower. Now, if that did happen, that'd be interesting to me, because I would consider it as, an opportunity. That's why I showed up at Powur. So I worked at Sunrun. I knocked there for about a year and a half or so. Loved it. I'll talk more about what I think about what they do, and they do so many things right, and I'll go into that when I talk about culture. Um, but I could see that I was going to make more at Powur per deal, and it wasn't about making more. It was I can make what I'm making now and give my clients a lower price. And so I saw that as an opportunity to, grow my business, where I was going to be able to get more referrals and give deals that I was more comfortable with. At the same time, they have better equipment. There's other things, but at the core of why I transitioned to Powur and why I haven't left and don't plan to is I haven't found a better competitive advantage anywhere else in the industry. So if there's a lot of reasons we're going to talk about them why you would stay and be at a solar company and be part of it, even if you don't have the highest competitive advantage. But I'm saying I think that is at Powur, and I'm making this video as a conversation. I want to be challenged on that. That's why I start with that part of the conversation, is like, hey, you're with this company, let's stack it up. Let's see which one gives us the highest competitive advantage. So that's the starting point. If you're going to meet with me, we're going to talk about, if the question is, hey, what's the commission like? How much can I get paid at Powur? Be prepared to build a proposal. I'll match it. We'll stack it. We'll see what the difference is. Every solar company is telling their reps that it's the best company. Of course, we all do this. It's what I'm doing right now. Hey, this is where you can make the most commission. We're going to grow the biggest. We're going to be the only solar company left standing. No one's better than us, right? We're all hearing that all the time. Of course we are. That's how things work. So when I take these proposals and stack them, the reaction of some salespeople is a pullback. I can feel it. So that it's like that doesn't match the reality that I hear every day. So something's off, because if that's not the reality, then what's going on? So we have a tendency as humans to do that if our reality is based on this notion and something comes in contrary to that notion, we may not be ready to hear that. So it's a great starting point because I can kind of tell where people are at, with their willingness to have an open mind about, where it might be the best place to grow their business. If we get through the conversation about commission, we're still on the same page. We're going to talk about lead generation, because commission doesn't matter if you have no one to pitch to. So finding leads and how our sales organizations help us do that is really important. What Powur does is a little different. There's a lot of details to show on that, on how we train people to connect to referral partners, different lead generators, and how you use the platform to find leads in other ways other than door knocking. And usually I'm meeting people that want to find a way off the door. They want to sell virtually. And so Powur is really tailored for that. So that part of the conversation usually makes sense, because it's like, this is how I've taken myself off the doors, and now I just do this virtually, and I'm constantly finding ways to use Powur software to connect to lead generators all over the country. So that conversation is really important, because commission has its place, lead generation has its place. They're both important. So I established the commissions are better, the lead generation tools are better. Here's the link to join. I'll see you tomorrow. Let me know when you're finished with the training. And I never hear back. I mean, sometimes I do, but when I don't, it's fascinating to me. And I've been watching this over the years. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. And I wanted to talk about some of the misconceptions that keep people away from joining Powur, despite the higher commissions and despite the lead generation tools. First, I want to talk about culture and community, and the fears I had as I transitioned into Powur, because I was pretty intimidated coming from a company that had all of that put together, and the camaraderie you had with each other and all the meetings and trainings we had. It just felt like I needed that to be able to go out and get motivated enough to knock doors and be successful. And so joining Powur, we all meet on Zoom. There's a lot of meetings you can go to, but it's all by choice. There's no one checking on you. There's no one looking at your numbers. You feel independent, and that can be intimidating. And I think that's one of the reasons why, we look at, hey, you make more commission here, you can give your customers something better. The lead generation opportunities are better, but it's still scary, because at least it was for me, to lose that motivational piece and that dependable training and support. But what I found at Powur was, as I participated in the meetings that I would choose, so there's a calendar of, we have 50 meetings a week, and you just pick to, whichever ones you want to go to, attend it. You want to learn more about Solar Edge or Enphase or this financing partner or these batteries, or you want to go to one of the best is the market specific meeting. So we've a meeting for each state, and we meet as a state and focus on things that are local. As I realized that getting into meetings with people that are all doing their business differently. So this is the main difference between what it's like to go to a meeting at a solar sales company traditional meeting and a Powur meeting. At the traditional company, you've got content that's on a loop. Okay, the turnover in door knocking is so high because it's difficult that you're constantly having to just kind of retrain on the same basic principles of learning solar, getting out there and getting deals and closing them, and that kind of loops at these companies because it needs to, because there's so many new people all the time. Well, you get into a Powur meeting, let's say the California Market Development meeting, which is, let's say there's 100 of us in there. In that meeting are reps that have been doing this for 15 years, and no one's doing it the same, and no one cares. No one's competing. There's no list of, who's at the top, because you can't compare. If we're all doing different things, there's nothing to really compare. We could compare sales. We're really not focused on that. We get in these meetings to learn from each other and to get ideas. So imagine, going to a solar meeting or sales meeting and hearing a door pitch. I haven't been to a meeting at Powur where we've talked about a door pitch, um, because I haven't attended that meeting. That meeting happens and I could go to it, but I don't need to go to it. I'll attend the meetings to where people are speaking that are going to give me ideas on something that I haven't seen before, or I'll learn about some new technology. So this fascinating thing happens when you take 100 people or so and you give them tools to go find homeowners. So we don't care what you do. Be creative, innovate, evolve, and come back here and share, what you learned. And so it's really cool. Instead of just hearing the same stuff over and over again, I get to hear from, someone that may have had a new idea and he's in Massachusetts and he's doing this thing, and I can see how I can incorporate that into what I'm doing. And so it's this ever growing set of knowledge that we're sharing with each other. And it's just fascinating to me because what I was scared of actually became what I'm most grateful for, which is the sort of organic way that we teach each other and learn. And it just sort of exponentially grows as we sit and talk about what we're going through. I guess I should have mentioned, when I joined Powur, I was just door knocking, and that was my plan. I wasn't planning on growing the way I was finding leads in any particular way. That all came as I attended these meetings, and I just realized, like, this community is full of really smart people. They're willing to share their ideas, and they're working together to educate each other. So this all came as a surprise. This is what I've learned maybe in the last year, and really started to respect the training that goes on in Powur and really start to learn from it. The last thing I want to talk about is team building and growth in Powur. It's easily the most misunderstood part of the way they do their business, and I want to address it because I can tell a rep, hey, you're going to make more, the training's better, the culture's amazing, you're going to see a lot of growth and have all these great ideas from all these genius people, and the software and tools are better than you've ever had. And then they get to this part and they see it and they think, it's an MLM. Wait, what is this? You want me to pay a subscription? So in Powur, you pay monthly to have the software. It's a platform. You don't work for Powur. I don't work for Powur. We're independent sellers. In this model, the way Override works, so a traditional solar company, you might recruit someone in, and the people seeing overrides, that's something you might have to earn. You might have to hit some certain metric, or you might just have to be friends with the person that decides who those people are that get that share of the margin. Well, Powur it's all baked in the numbers. So there's a specific amount of the margin that's going to go to the mentor of the person that joined, and the person that trained them gets a percentage, and that's all baked in the numbers. So it's incredibly fair, and it avoids politics. So there's no positions in Powur. There's no politicking for position. And it feeds into that culture of no one's trying to compete. We're all just sort of supporting each other and sharing ideas because there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to compete for. We grow down. We don't try to go up because there's no up. There's no place to get to in Powur. There's no position to have. You're already at the top. You start in Powur at the top position of your company that you're going to grow down. And what's really important is it can't be taken from you. You grow it. It's yours. It doesn't matter if no one likes you. It's there. It's yours. You don't have to do it a certain way. You don't have to impress anybody. You can just grow it how you want it, and it can't be taken from you. So yeah, Powur will get comments like, well, that looks like an MLM, but how else do you want to grow your solar company? You want to start at the top and grow it down and have nothing in your way to grow it as much as you want. Last thing I'll say, we're all trying to do the same thing in solar sales. We're actually all independent sellers. We might use different software. We're all just trying to find homeowners and sell them a good deal and make a profit and turn that into more deals in the future. So we need to communicate more about what's best for us, not just within our own little bubble, but across our bubbles. Let's kind of break that bubble and talk to each other. So leave me some comments on where the blind spots are. I'm saying Powur has the highest competitive advantage right now, the best training structure and group of people that are training each other, the best software tools for lead gen, and the best team building model. So if I have blind spots there, if someone else is doing any of those 4 things better, then tell me. I want to know. That's what I'm doing is constantly educating myself and trying to figure out what's best for me and all of us in this industry. So let me know if you have any comments about it. But YouTube, here we are.